Hello, this is how to use the snap Linux command line. This is part of the Ubuntu package manager snap. On Google I searched for snap store and then VLC. Takes me to the page of the VLC snap package from the snap store. There's channels. The application can be installed on multiple Linux operating systems. You first install the snap package manager, and then from the snap package manager you install the package named VLC, all lowercase. The web page for the snap store has a search, has featured applications, so similar to an app store. Let's now focus on the Linux command line snap. So this is the Linux operating system Ubuntu 25.10. It comes with snap pre-installed. Let's look first at the man page and at the help, but for this we will put the man page and the help in a text file. There will be able to open it easily in a text editor and search. That would be man.txt, and then there's also snap help. This we don't really need to put in a text file because it's short enough. Let's open with the text editor the file that we have just generated with the content of the man page. So the most often used instructions and subcommands for the snap command line would be to install software, to remove software, to list the installed snap packages on the current machine, and to search. Let's take them one by one. Let's see how search works. So find or search. Let's search for VLC. There's multiple options, multiple packages that contain VLC in the name or in other fields. We actually want the first hit here, which is the package with this exact name VLC. Let's first list all of the packages that are currently installed. The snap command is called list. Let's see. List, snap, list. So Ubuntu 25.10 comes pre-installed with some snap packages. There's Thunderbird and Firefox. I did uninstall Thunderbird and kept Firefox. In addition to Firefox, then I have also installed Zoom-client, Chromium, and Code. So this is pretty close to the Google Chrome web browser. This is the actual Visual Studio Code from Microsoft. This is my primary web browser, Firefox, and Zoom-client. This is the best Zoom client that I know that's available on the Linux operating system. And it's also contains binaries from the Zoom upstream, from the Zoom company itself. Let's see revisions. So snap list and then this option -- all. I don't have more than one revision installed for one of the packages. Let's see. So code appears twice versus code appears once. So I have two different versions of Visual Studio Code installed on the computer, revision 210 and revision 211, and 211 is the one that I'm currently using. one is disabled. In notes, we can see which of the snap packages are of confinement type classic. So Visual Studio Code is such a snap package. Classic means that it will have a pretty basic confinement. It will be able to access all of the files from my home directory, but also from slash, which is what you would expect from a text editor. You would want to be able to edit files from slash media, maybe from a USB stick, maybe from slash Etsy, etc. From the www root directory if you have a web server running on your computer, which doesn't sit in your home directory. It's probably in slash var. I also have two versions of Mesa 2404. Okay. We can also use words when you search. So we did snap search VLC. We also can search for parts of the description. So we can search, for instance, for media player. It also finds SM player and MPV and Haruna. Let's find more details about the snap package VLC. There's the snap command info. You can ask for help for various snap commands. So either you go snap space minus minus help, tells you the list of commands, or you go snap and then the name of a command and minus minus help gives you help about that command. So we want snap info and then the name of the snap binary package, which in this case it's VLC. Let's see what it says about it. Name summary says that it's managed by the upstream themselves, by the video LAN organization. And then there's more than one channel. What you get by default if you go snap install VLC is latest slash stable. So you will get this version. But you can also install newer versions than this. For instance, you can install the pre-release version 4 of VLC if you use the snap channel latest slash edge. It says from March 2024. Snap is a packaging technology. There's a community of packagers, of people that package software for the Snap App Store and for the Snap technology. It's not guaranteed that the upstream themselves, such as the video LAN organization, are creating Snap packages. And it's also not guaranteed that you get the latest possible version of software. As software gets released, it's not sure that a Snap binary package will be created or will be promoted to the latest slash stable Snap channel. Also, it's not guaranteed that the latest slash edge will contain a current build from the master branch, from the Git branch, or the channel latest slash beta contains the current beta version of the software. So it's a best effort. It's a packaging effort. Let's next install the package. We will use the command install. we have the possibility of selecting the channel straight going minus minus and the name of the channel, so edge beta candidate stable. Or you can use the longer version, minus minus channel equals, and then edge beta candidate or stable. Minus minus dev mode is for while you're creating snap packages and you want to test the intermediate binary package that you have created, because it disables the security confinement. Also, minus minus classic disables the security confinement, as we saw for Visual Studio Code. Also for development support while you're editing your snap pan or your snap package, the minus minus dangerous command line parameter to snap install comes in handy. So let's try to install VLC. Because we did not prepend the command line with sudo, it's going to use a graphical user interface dialog to ask for permissions. It requires Ubuntu 18.04 snap core. So this is a snap binary package that is, as the name implies, from 7 years ago. And it's used as a base for the additional snap binary package, which is named VLC. So let's recap what happened. A base package has been downloaded and installed, which is Core 18. Then the package VLC has been downloaded and installed. And then various connections were performed for the VLC snap, because the VLC snap is confined and it wants access to audio playback, to video playback, to your optical removable devices, etc., etc., and for networking access as a HTTPS client. The package is installed. Let's list it. Snap list minus minus all. So VLC is version 3020, revision 3000 and then 3/7. Let's look at the available versions. So 3777 is the package that's on the channel stable and candidate, and it's from March this year. And then we have a newer version, 4252, which is newer. It's from September this year. Let's try to switch from the channel latest stable to the channel latest beta to get a bit fresher version of VLC. This time we're going to prepend the command line with sudo, such that we're not being asked for the sudo password via a graphical user interface message box. So snap install, and we're going to use we can either go minus minus beta or minus minus channel equals beta. And the name of the binary package, VLC. Good, so it found out that the package is already installed. Didn't do what I wanted to do, because we actually want the command switch, not the command install. Let's look at it. It says if you already have a snap binary package installed, it's going to switch to another channel. So minus minus beta or minus minus channel. So we could just edit this command line, and instead of install, we go switch. So sudo snap switch minus minus channel equals beta and VLC. And says that VLC binary package has switched to the latest beta channel. Everything moves extremely fast. Let's see if something actually happened. Snap list minus minus all. So nothing happened. The same version is still installed. Latest slash beta versus latest slash stable, and with the same version. Yeah, so snap switch did not work. Maybe it's a temporary issue. Maybe it requires a computer reboot. I don't know. So what we should do at this point in order to actually switch correctly the snap channel for VLC is to completely cleanly uninstall VLC and then install it from the channel beta. Let's ignore this glitch. Let's now try to run the application. So this is a graphical user interface application. Should be integrated with KDE Plasma, my desktop environment. So go to the start menu and try to find VLC in here. VLC. And there's two media players, one which is installed from binary packages, from dep packages, and another one which is installed from Snap. In order to see which is which, I'm actually going to remove the one that's installed from dep packages because I don't actually use VLC at all. And I have removed the package VLC, but some other packages might not be needed any longer. Let's see if that's the case. Opt auto remove. Wants to remove some sub packages of VLC dep packages which are no longer in use. Yes. Okay, now we can look again in the start menu. There's this green dot to signify that a new application has been added to this category, multimedia. And we can see that VLC media player is new. Okay, so that was more than 10 seconds waiting with huge CPU usage. Hopefully this only happens the first time that you start the application VLC after you install it from Snap. Let's actually prove that. Let's close the application, graphical user interface application, start it again. And this time it started in less than a quarter of a second and without major CPU usage. Let's look at the version. How do we see the very detailed version? We don't. Okay, so the application is installed. We can also run the application using the binary package name, so VLC in this case, and the snap command line. So for that, we can use the run command. Let's actually search for all words. So snap run command, and then the name of a snap. And if the snap binary packages contain multiple executables inside, then you can use the name of the binary package, in this case VLC dot, and then the name of another executable that's inside the snap package. And because we're starting it from the command line, you can also pass command line arguments, such as the name of the file to be played back. So snap, run, and then VLC. Okay, says that there's the command line video player CVLC also available. Let's prove that theory. So VLC name of the snap and then name of the executable CVLC. Doesn't work this easily. Okay, so maybe the CVLC executable should be provided by the snap and is not. Maybe it should be provided in the path where the snap run command line searches for, and it's not inside the snap. Maybe this message should not be displayed for snaps because the snap should not contain the CVLC command line, so this warning log. Apart from starting the snap using the command line with the command snap, also a executable named VLC is available in our path environment variable under /snap/bin. So the path environment variable on Ubuntu by default ends with /snap/bin, which means that in our case, where we had the VLC installed in two different ways, from deb packages and from snaps, this part /usr/bin is being used to find the VLC installed from deb packages. It has higher priority than the VLC executable that's available in /snap/bin. But after we have uninstalled the VLC installed via deb packages, now we only have this VLC installed via snap packages. So /snap/bin/VLC is the executable that's being used when we just run the command line VLC. There's no need to manually update packages because they are updated automatically. But if you still want to, there's the refresh command to the snap command line. Let's find it. So you can update one package or all of the packages. Says it will update all of the packages that are currently installed, all of the snap packages, if you don't provide the name of a package to refresh, to upgrade. And then there's also, similar to the snap install command, the options to change the channel. So -minus channels equal and edge beta candidate stable. So let's see if this command can actually switch channels the way we want it for the VLC executable. I have copy pasted the above command sudo snap install -minus channel equals beta VLC and replaced install with refresh. Asks for the sudo password. And now it's actually downloading the correct snap package with version 4252 versus version 3747. So maybe when we did sudo snap switch -minus channel equals beta VLC, it did change the VLC snap to the correct channel, to beta, but it didn't perform yet an auto update. So maybe the correct way to change channels is to run this command instead of sudo snap switch. You run sudo snap refresh -- channel equals beta VLC, because this will both change the channel but also run an update if needed. I'm not sure how will the downgrades work. A very important parameter to snap refresh is the -- hold parameter. So if you don't specify anything, it defaults to forever. Hold means do not automatically upgrade the given snap package or all of the packages if you don't specify anything. So the command line would be sudo snap refresh -- hold, which means that none of the snap packages will be upgraded started from now on automatically. You can still upgrade them manually using sudo snap refresh. Or you can specify the name of the package that you want to be kept at the current version and not automatically upgraded by the snap binary package. In this case, I said that Firefox should not be upgraded, but the rest should be automatically upgraded. If you don't want forever, you can specify, for instance, the number of hours. So you can specify for the next 2 days I'm doing important things, so don't upgrade Firefox automatically. Using snap refresh, we managed to upgrade a VLC version. Let's see how we do the reverse, which is downgrade a VLC version. For that, we use the verb revert. Let's see how that works. Sudo snap revert and the name of the snap package VLC. The current VLC version was the one that's not disabled. So the current VLC version was this one, 4252. But we reverted, which means go to the snap state before the latest refresh. So using refresh, we went from 3777 to 4252. Using revert, we're going from 4252 to 3777. And now this version with 3000 doesn't have the note disabled, which means that it's the version that we get if we start VLC. And when you do snap revert, you have the option of specifying a certain revision that you want to jump to, which probably will allow us to also jump to the newer version, the one with 4000. Let's actually see if that's the case. So sudo snap revert VLC and parameter revision, and we're using the column revision. So we're at this revision with 3000 and we want to go to the revision with 4000. And now the revision with 4000 doesn't have the note disabled, so it's the one that's currently running, currently installed and available. So as long as you have different versions of a snap installed on your current computer, you can choose which one you want using snap revert and then the -- revision command line parameter. Since the Snap VLC is not classic, it has a security confinement, and it must specify what it wants to access from outside the security confinement. That is done in Snap using connections. So it says that the Snap technology has the concept of plug and slot. Plugs and slots are connected using connections. If we run the command line snap connections, then the name of the snap, it lists connected plugs and slots. And if you want -- all, it will also show unconnected ones. So the media player, video player VLC is allowed to output audio, to input audio, to read from a webcam, read from the satellite receiving hardware, and terrestrial television receiving hardware, is able to use the home directory, is allowed to notify of progress using the protocol MPRIS, which, for instance, in KDE Plasma means that you will be able to pause, playback, while the computer is locked inside the lock screen. And there's also a system tray icon that shows you that a video or audio is playing. You can pause it or you can skip to the next track. Can connect to the network as a network client. Pulse audio, X11. Removable media, it will see a DVD ROM if you put it inside the DVD drive. So the parameter -- all is if you don't specify any snap name. So you can go snap connections, will show all of the connected slots and plugs on the system for all of the snap packages that are currently installed. Or you can go snap connections -- all without specifying a snap name, and it will also show the connections which are the slots and plugs which are not connected. So let's actually look. Snap connections. So all of the snap packages that are currently installed on the system and don't use classic confinement, so do actually use a security confinement, will have multiple connections. So the applications that are able to output sound, the web browsers Chromium, Firefox, Media Player VLC, and the Zoom client. The snap packages that are able to record from my microphone, the two web browsers, and Zoom. The web browser Chromium is allowed to interact with my Bluetooth devices. Three applications can connect to my webcam. Some applications can print Chromium can observe the hardware. There's this feature inside web browsers where they detect if the network interface card has started being connected. So there's web browsers want to know if the networking is currently down or if it has restored. For instance, if you start a web browser with your networking connection down, it will say that there's a problem loading the page and you can press the reload button. But then when you reconnect to the internet, the web browser is notified and it will refresh automatically the page. Okay, and now let's go snap connections - all. And on the third column, we can see that the slot is not connected. The plugs are inside inside the snap packages, and the slots are provided by either other snaps, such as in this case cups, or icon theme breeze, or by the system, such as the desktop one, or in general the snap package manager. Let's do an exercise. So the camera connection exists for the two web browsers and for Zoom, does not exist for the media player VLC. Let's fix this. The command is snap connect the snap name VLC and then what. Okay, sometimes colon camera is called snapd colon camera. And now we can see that also VLC is connected to camera. As a note, it says manual. So the VLC application did not request, the snap for the VLC application did not request by default access to webcams, but the snap for VLC can make use of the camera, and we just allowed it to also access the camera. So it's an optional feature inside VLC. It's not mandatory, that's why it doesn't require it by default. This is how the manual page, this is what it has to say about the command snap connect. So it connects a plug to a slot. The syntax is either snap plug snap colon slot, or snap colon plug. And then in this case, the slot has the same name and it's from the core snap. So it's provided by the package manager, snapd. We used the shorter syntax here. Snap connect, the snap package name, and then the plug. We didn't provide the snap that contains the slot or the slot name. A word about the place where snaps store their data. So the snap for VLC is very self-contained. It's a image that's being mounted, but then that will generate at runtime various data, such as cached files, changed user configurations, etc. And if the snap is strictly confined, it cannot even access the home directory except the directory ~snap. And in there's a directory for the package. So let's actually see how that works. So inside the ~snap directory, there's a subdirectory for VLC. In there's a subdirectory for each of the revisions that we have installed currently locally. So we have revision 3000 and revision 4000. There's a symlink that is named current, that points to the current version that we're using, which seems to be the version with 3000. And there's also files which are not revision specific. What does this means is that these files are specific to the revision 3000. These files are specific to the revision 4000. These files are common to both revisions. These are, for instance, this is the main configuration file for VCL for the current user. And then various cache directories. When you change from a snap revision to the other, to another one, using snap refresh or snap revert, in order for the experience to be extra safe, not only the immutable image that's the actual snap binary package gets applied, but also the data that was generated by the snap is being changed in a way that makes sense. For instance, if there's a new version of VLC, for instance VLC 5, and it has a totally different configuration file, totally different cache files, etc., all of these behaviors will be encoded in the snap recipe that actually creates the snap binary package, such that this functionality is being exercised. The various user data files and directories for the snap package. There's also advanced functionality which is called snapshotting with the command snap save that allows you to make, for instance, a snapshot of how the configuration directories look like right now, for instance, for all of the snaps installed on the system. And then you can revert these configuration files. So it's not just configuration files, it's user data, it's cached files, it's system data, etc. The snapshots are stored at /var/lib/snapd/snapshots. Let's look at that. As zip files, as I can see. I can think that this zip file was created because I have actually uninstalled a single snap from my system, the one that came pre-installed with Kubuntu 25.10, which is Thunderbird. So this is a functionality. Probably when you uninstall an application, the files that are not part of the immutable image are being compressed as a zip file stored here /var/lib/snapd/snapshots. It probably also contains the snap revision. And if you at some point want to reinstall the application, you could continue straight from where you left with, for instance, your web browser profile, etc. Okay, so the command lines are snap save and snap restore. I have uninstalled the snap Thunderbird. Let's now see how we remove the application without generating a snapshot. So without adding a new file to /var/lib/snapd/snapshots specific for VLC. Sudo snap remove VLC would uninstall and create a snapshot file. And if we don't want to create the snapshot file, the .zip file in /var/lib/snapd/snapshots, we're going to use --purge. Okay, snap list VLC. Says that no snaps are installed, so the immutable images don't exist on my system. Where are you? And we're listing the list of snapshots for uninstalled applications, and the VLC doesn't have a zip file there. So this is it. This was how to use the Linux command snap, which is part of the Ubuntu snap package manager, which contains binary packages that can be installed on a variety of Linux operating systems and also on various versions of Linux operating systems. As in this example, the VLC snap can be installed on a multitude of Linux operating systems such as Fedora, OpenSUSE, Tumbleweed, Ubuntu, etc., Arch Linux, but also on very old versions of these operating systems, because in this case it's using Ubuntu 18, so you will probably be able to install this on Ubuntu 25.10, 25.04, 24.04, 22.04, 20.04, and maybe even 18.04. Thank you.